Yo, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Happy Labor Day, and welcome back to another segment of Sportbook Buddy, where we help you try to find the sharpest edge to take a stab against your sportbook with. I'm Sports Dave. I put in the hard work necessary to make you knowledgeable, confident, and Vegas strong versus your sportsbook. Now, I hope the people out there watching are able to enjoy this from the comfort of a nice barbecue right now, whether it's a carne asada style barbecue or just some simple burgers and dogs or some good old-fashioned southern style brisket and ribs and all that good stuff. I love it all, and today's segment will be brief since our schedule is pretty light in terms of games that are going to be taking place later on in the day. Nonetheless, we're going to do our best to arm you with enough information to make you dangerous versus your sports book. And, the games that we'll be covering are the White Sox versus Indians, the Rockies versus the Dodgers, and the only college football game happening today between the Fighting Irish going into Louisville to do battle against the Cardinals. Now, keep in mind that the picks that I mentioned were given by several individual handicappers. They make their own choices of who or what they like in these games, and if you like their style of picking games, I would suggest hitting them up for a friend request on Facebook or whatever avenue or website that I mentioned in this video. So let's just dive right in. Now, the Cleveland Indians have completely owned the American League Central Division over the past few seasons in terms of their record against the opponents in their division. So one thing that I would definitely focus on today is the fact that Cleveland needs to stay in the wild card race. They're holding on to that one last spot, and they get a chance to beat up on the White Sox, who they've owned in the last 3 years with a 43-26 record against them. Now, the Indians are going to need to continue punishing their division if they're planning on hanging on to that wild card spot, because it looks like the Twins might be pulling away with the division crown right now. Now, today looks like a juicy matchup for the Indians, and my buddy Picks of Destiny is going to lay the chalk and roll with the run line in this game at minus 120. Picks of Destiny likes the Indians to bounce back after losing 3 straight, and their lineup has been solid in the last 6 games with a 788 OPS. The Indians are going to be sending up Aaron Savale, who's been solid since being called up. He's got a 1.96 ERA in his only 2 starts at Progressive Field. He's only given up 1 run so far. The White Sox come in with a .628 OPS in the last 6 games, and their starter Ross Detweiler has been pretty bad. In his last outing, he gave up 8 runs over 4 1/3 innings, and in his last 6 appearances, his ERA sits at 7.33. So this play is also a fade on the pitcher. Picks of Destiny is going to go hard with the Indians today and take the run line at minus 120. Now, if you'd like to follow more Pick of Destiny's plays, I would recommend finding him on pickmonitor.com, or you can also find him on Twitter under the handle of Picks of D, or at Picks of D. Next game is going to be Colorado Rockies heading down south a little bit closer to sea level to play against the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. Neither team has been particularly hot lately. The Dodgers are actually 4-6 in the last 10 games, and the Rockies are an atrocious 1-9 in the last 10 games, having lost 6 straight. Now, I received a couple different plays from a couple guys that have different angles but the same outcome. Jesse Wansbrough is going to take the over in this game with the total set at 9. They get to face off against Peter Lambert of the Rockies, and he thinks that the Dodgers are going to continue to pound the righty who's had a 7.45 ERA in 2 career starts against the Dodgers. Now, Walker Buehler's also been giving up his fair share of runs against the Rockies lately. In his last couple starts, or his last few starts actually, he's given up 10 runs in the last 15 innings against the Rockies. So if these teams both bring the bats today, it should be an easy over. Now, my buddy Teddy Clark of Fade Familia is also going to roll with the over in this game, as it's more of a fade against public action. Teddy has a network of guys that he says some of them only hit like 35% of their bets. So, he kind of targets them to fade more than anything. And if you'd like to follow more of Teddy's picks, you can also find him on Facebook as well under the page of Fade Familia. Last game of the day is college football, and this is the one that I've received the most amount of picks for. Notre Dame comes in as a heavy favorite versus Louisville, and the line opened up in some places at 18.5, and I've seen it go up as high as 20.5 points. The Irish, of course, are a public team, and they're going to get some blind support from a lot of their fan base. And also, the fact that Louisville was terrible last season probably adds to that as well. However, this is a new season upon us, and Louisville starting with a new regime with head coach Scott Satterfield. Satterfield comes in from Appalachian State, where he turned that program around in his first season, going 4-8 to a 10-2 team last year. Now, Satterfield's particularly been strong on defense. Last year, they ranked 4th nationally with points allowed per game. So my buddy Nicholas DeLine, who I quickly want to congratulate on the birth of his new baby boy. Congratulations, Nick. I hope that you get plenty of sleep really soon. Anyways, Nick is going to fade the public action. He also mentioned that Notre Dame has plenty of guys to replace on their defense this year, and it's always nice getting this many points at home. Nick also has been solid to work with in the past, and if you would like to follow more of his picks, be sure to find his Facebook page at Sir Nick Picks. I also received a show of support from June Chang from Fade Familia to also ride with Louisville in this game. This game is he pointed out that 74% of the action of this game is going towards the Irish. So June is fading the public action and the public perception that Louisville is a horrible team due to the fact that they were 1-11 against the spread last season. He thinks that this new coaching staff and an upgrade to the talent is going to re-energize this program for their home opener, and thinks that the Cardinals covered the spread today. So if you want to follow June's play, be sure to take Louisville plus the points. And if you want to follow any of June's other plays, make sure to find him on the Fade Familia page as well. Another angle to play in this game is to play the total like my good friend Del Warfield of Warfield Elite. Del's been a solid capper and very easy to work with, generously posting a lot of his free picks on Sportbook Buddy as well as his own page, Warfield Elite. Now, Del is going to play the total under 55.5. The line came in as high as 60 in some books, and Dell spotted some reverse line movement in this game. It's a primetime game, and there's a lot of action to fade here because the Irish come in with a lot of hype after making the college football playoffs last year. Now, Dell expects this game to be more of a grind than the total would actually suggest, and he expects that Notre Dame is going to put the clamps on Louisville's offense as well. But Dell's biggest reason for taking this under is due to the fact that 75% of the action is being bet on the over in this game, and it started at 60 and has gone down to 55.5. So Dell's play is really based off of reverse line movement, like I said earlier. Make sure to follow Dell on Warfield Elite. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm also going to ride with this under. Louisville, I'm also going to lean with the points. I just think that it's just too many points to be giving at home for a home opener, especially. New coaching staff installing a new system and infusing a new energy. I think Louisville makes this game closer than expected. Plus, Notre Dame is a big-time program with a big public following out there. I think that they could have made this spread like 30 points and there still would have been more support for the Irish today because it's just, the first game of the year, and people are going to base their opinion off of what they saw last year and the fact that a lot of these guys are homers that pick the Irish. So, anyways, that's what we got today, guys. I hope this all goes well for everybody out there. I want to thank all my friends who took the time to send me their picks with the full breakdown. I really appreciate it, guys. Hopefully, we're all cashing tickets at the end of the day. Also, thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to share my video on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I'll be back at it again soon so that we can try and slay the books together, guys. Anyways, good luck.